Hey everybody, so we have some trades to talk about, as last night there was a flurry of trades in the evening, 3 different trades involving 4 different teams. And up to this point, the trade market, with the exception of the Taylor Hall blockbuster, the trade market's been fairly quiet in the NHL this year. But last night, the Buffalo Sabres, Calgary Flames, Montreal Canadiens, and Ottawa Senators all decided to make some depth moves for their teams and swap some players and draft picks around. So before we get fully into the video, I just want to remind everyone to please hit that like button and give this video a thumbs up. It greatly helps out the channel and is greatly appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and follow along for all my hockey content this season and all year round. So the first trade to take place was the Montreal Canadiens traded defenseman Mike Reilly to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for forward Andrew Sturts, not an NHL forward, and a 2021 5th-round draft pick. So Mike Reilly hasn't really been playing for Montreal. He only played 14 games so far this season. Depth defenseman, 26 years old. He's got no goals and 4 points on the season, all assists, obviously. And Reilly just really wasn't doing much in Montreal, and I think Montreal was looking to upgrade their D-core, as you know they're kind of falling back a little bit in the playoff race in the East. I think they needed an upgrade defensively, and as we'll see with their next move, this cleared a roster spot for them to make an upgrade defensively. So the next trade to happen was between Montreal and the Buffalo Sabres, when the Montreal Canadiens acquired defenseman Marco Scandella from Buffalo in exchange for a 2020 4th-round pick. So definitely an upgrade there for the Montreal Canadiens. And Buffalo is another team that Buffalo is a team that has a ton of defensemen on the roster. That moving one was not going to be an issue for them. It's not like Scandella was a top 4 guy for them anyway. He's kind of a bottom pair depth player. He's played 31 games this season. He's got 3 goals and 6 assists for 9 points. But when you compare the move here for Montreal, they go from Mike Reilly as one of their depth defensemen to Marco Scandella as one of their depth defensemen. That is a clear upgrade going from Reilly to Scandella for the Montreal Canadiens. So pretty obvious what they're trying to do here, and that's upgrade their D-core. For Ottawa, I don't really know why Ottawa wanted Mike Reilly. Reilly has never really panned out at the NHL level. He is only 26 years old, and as we've seen with Anthony Duclair, who's just lighting up the score sheet this season, maybe when a player, who hasn't panned out to that point yet in their career, gets sent to a team like Ottawa where the expectations are really low, the pressure is off, they can just go out and play hockey again, maybe we can start to see a turnaround. So maybe Reilly in Ottawa, where there really is no expectations and he's not under a lot of pressure, maybe Reilly can just go out and play and start to get his career back on track the way that Duclair has. Maybe, who knows, that still remains to be seen, but that's the only thing I can think of as to why Ottawa would necessarily want Mike Reilly, because obviously Montreal didn't want him, and he hasn't really panned out anywhere he's gone at the NHL level. So, the Canadiens obviously are here upgrading their D-core, and Buffalo still had another trade to make, as Buffalo then takes, I believe it's the 2020 4th-round pick that they got for Marco Scandella. They then send that pick to Calgary in exchange for forward Michael Frolik. So Buffalo has a bunch of defensemen, a lot of depth defensemen that it's easy for them to move one of them. They move Scandella. They're looking to upgrade their forward group, so they go out and they bring in Michael Frolik from the Calgary Flames, using that draft pick that they acquired for Scandella. And the Flames, what do they get out of this? Well, they get that 4th-round pick, but that's not really what they're looking for. They get the cap space of Michael Frolik off of that roster. And to be honest with you, let's look at it. Well, we got to look at this from a Flames and Buffalo standpoint. Let's start with Buffalo. Buffalo needed to upgrade their forward group. However, Michael Frolik is having a really, really lousy year. He's played 38 games with Calgary. He's only scored 5 goals and 10 points on the season. This is a guy who you're looking for 15 to 20 goals from year in and year out, and he is certainly not looking like he's going to do that this season. Maybe the change of scenery will be good for him. Maybe going to Buffalo will get him back on track. But outside, Buffalo it's not like they're a hotbed for secondary scoring. They're a team that's struggling to get offense from anyone outside of Jack Eichel. So I don't really know how much of an upgrade Frolik is going to be for the Sabres, but will remain to be seen. But Frolik, as the final year of his contract, he's a UFA at the end of this season. And I guess Buffalo wanted to add in a second or third line type guy into that forward group and see if they can maybe get him going. For Calgary, this is clearly a move to free up cap space, and I think Calgary is not done as far as making moves go. I think they're going to look to add a second line scorer to that group. They're obviously looking to be a playoff team this year. They're currently right outside the playoffs. They're the first team out in the West, but that's obviously changing daily. They need to make a push. They know that, and I think we're going to see them particularly go after Chris Kreider of the New York Rangers, and the money matches up. The money that they freed up by getting rid of Frolik should be enough for them to be able to make a run at Kreider. So I would not be surprised if the Flames continue to look at the trade market and try and make moves. I think Chris Kreider is probably their top target. If that doesn't work out or doesn't happen, they certainly could go after another player. But I think Calgary is looking to add a forward. Frolik was not playing well this year, not really adding anything to that team. I think if they can bring in a Chris Kreider or Tyler Toffoli or Andreas Athanasiou or someone like that, I think that would be an upgrade over Frolik for the Flames, and I think that's what they're looking for, and this is just a precursor move to that happening. For Buffalo, again, they had extra defensemen. They were able to move one and bring in a forward, someone who I think they hope will be able to add some secondary scoring, although I'm not too confident in that given how Frolik's played this season. It's definitely been a rough year for him, but maybe the change of scenery will be good. Montreal upgraded their D-core, got rid of Mike Riley and added Marco Scandella, so that's certainly an upgrade to their defense depth and their bottom pair at the NHL level. In Ottawa, their whole role in this was pretty much just to take Mike Riley, and Ottawa is a team certainly near the bottom of the standings, not a playoff team. That they're in a position now to where maybe they can just take on players, and maybe we see a turnaround in Mike Riley's play, maybe we don't, but there's not a whole lot of risk here for the Senators, as they don't really have any expectations for this season. So that's pretty much the role that all of these teams played. Obviously, we have Buffalo, Montreal, and Calgary all looking to make playoff runs and be playoff teams. So that's why Montreal wanted to upgrade their defense. Buffalo wanted to upgrade their forward group, and Calgary, I don't think is done yet, is going to look to upgrade their forward group as well. And Ottawa is just the team that could make this all happen. So those are the 3 depth trades from yesterday. All happened right around the same time. I think pretty clear motives for these teams involved. And no breathtaking moves, nothing that's a serious game changer, I don't think, but all moves that I think have a specific purpose for each of the teams involved, and mostly they're looking to add depth in Calgary's case, clear cap space. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.